In this tutorial, I'll be teaching you how to create a Flutter app using the command line. I'll be teaching you how to initialize a virtual device for your Flutter app to run on. And I will also be explaining the demo code that is given when you create a Flutter app. Lastly, I'll be going through some essential widgets such as material app, scaffold, and app bar. Let's begin. Let's start by opening up the terminal. So go below and search for terminal. And once you're at the terminal, what you can do is type Flutter create, and let's give it a name of demo. And it might take some time, so you just have to wait for the command to finish. If you have VisualStudio Code path configured, you can just type CODE space the name of the file which you just created. In this case is demo. So if you type this, it is gonna bring up the code, the project. But if you haven't configured, or somehow it's not configured in your machine, what you can do is open up VisualStudio Code, and you can just file, open folder. It should be in your directory. Let's try to find it, demo here. And if you do this, select folder, it's gonna open up and you're gonna get the same screen. So as you can see on your left side on the Explorer tab, we have a folder called demo, and here are all the Flutter files. For now, all you have to know is that most of your coding will be done inside this lib folder, lib, and inside here you can find a main file, and if you click inside, it shows you pre-written code by Flutter, and there's a demo application here. Before I go on to explain the code, we have to open up a virtual device so that we can run this code. So let's go on and open up a virtual device on Android. To open up a virtual device, what you need to do is, I'll minimize this for now, search for Android Studio and open up Android Studio. And then go over to the top side and click more actions, not SDK manager, virtual device manager, click on it. And you have to create a new device if you don't already have one. Create, and let's just select a device. For now, let's just pick Pixel 6. Next, and you have to install the Android OS. Let's download the API 33. Download, accept, next. After the SDK has installed completely, finish. Click on next after selecting the downloaded system image. And let's just click finish for now. And now you can see you have a virtual device ready. And to boot up the device, just click on the play button here. After it has been initialized and booted up, you can go to the VisualStudio Code, and down at the bottom you can see the phone is connected. So let's try to run this application, the demo application, inside our virtual device. Let's try to So how you can do that is as I explained earlier, what you can do is firstly go to terminal and type flutter run. Here you can see the demo application being run on the virtual device. So let's just try to see what the demo application does. If you click on the plus button here, which is called a floating action button, the value is going to increment by 1. So that is all the Flutter demo application does. So I'll explain the code such that you will have a better understanding of how the Flutter runs when you code it. So as I've said earlier, all program run by finding the main function, and you can see in the main.dart file there's a main function here, and it calls the run app function, which will then take a parameter of my app, a widget, into the function. So let's see my app. So my app extends a stateless widget. So that means my app is a type of widget. I'll explain widgets further on. So my app is a type of stateless widget, and it has a build function. And inside the build function, there's a material app. So material app is a wrapper for all Flutter widgets, Flutter applications. And you can think of it as this will provide everything a Flutter application will need as you create the other pages. And inside material app, there's a title given and a theme which has a color blue, and it has a parameter called home, which is your home page. And as you can see, we are passing a home page widget inside the home parameter. And home page widget takes in a parameter title, which is Flutter demo homepage. And as you can see here, the string is displayed on top. And you can guess that this string it has something to do with app bar. And if we look further down, you can see that the app bar takes in the title. So let's look at my homepage. My homepage refers to the homepage screen that we are looking at here. And it has, if you look down here, it has a build function that returns a scaffold. And the scaffold contains app bar, a body, and a floating action button. So you can think of scaffold as the building blocks for any Flutter screen. It can take in app bar, as you can see on top here, and it has a body, which is the white color part here, and you can give it another widget called floating action button, which you can see right here. And let's look at the body. It has a center widget. This just means that everything inside the body is supposed to come to the center. And inside the center widget, there's a column widget. The column widget will take in multiple widgets and lay it all out. And if you can see here below, there's a text widget inside the column which says you have pushed the button this many times. And you can see it in the screen here. The text widget is displayed here. And there's a text to display the number of times you clicked it. So this is the basic explanation of the code that is given to us. Let's try to experiment with other widgets such that we have a better understanding. We'll go with material app, scaffold, and app bar. We've looked at the demo code, and let's discuss Flutter app structure. So on the right side, you can see a applications screen, and there's a app bar which is indicated by the red color arrow, and a column widget which holds all these other widgets, and an example would be a text widget which exists inside the column widget. So there's also a card widget inside the column widget, and you can see that everything exists as in a tree-like structure, and everything is a widget. So this is how you can visualize how widgets are stacked and a screen is displayed. There's a root widget. In our early demo application, you can think of it as the material app, and inside the material app there was a home widget, which was a stateless widget, and inside that there was a body widget, app bar. And app bar was provided inside the scaffold, and the column widget was provided inside the widget as well. So inside the column widget there was text widget and another text, but for the screens that I just displayed, there was text widget and card widget and many other widgets. So Flutter holds all the widget in a tree-like structure, and we will explore more about this from the computer screen. So let's explore about material, app, scaffold, and app bar. To do that, let's clear all of this, except for the main function, and clear this as well. So we have to create a base widget class. Let's just call it my app and extend stateless widget. And since it's an extension, you have to override some methods. Control dot, create missing override, and let's return a material app. Because this is the root of all apps, we have to do this. And let's run this my app widget inside this run app function. So let's save it and let's try to run what happens. We do that by coming here. It's an empty screen because we have not provided any other widgets for the material app. So you can see what type of parameters we can pass in the material app by hovering over here. And what we need is a home parameter where we'll pass a widget. Let's try to do that, home. And let's try to pass a widget called text. Let's just say hello world. And if we were to run this, let's save it first. Control S, save. And over here on the terminal, what you can do is type capital R. It's gonna hot restart. And you can see here, it says hello world. But this is not looking well because it is not provided a scaffold. So what we can do is, instead of sending a text widget, we can send a scaffold, and inside the scaffold, in the body section, let's pass in the same text. And let's try to first save it. You can see here it's not saved. Save it and type capital R. It's gonna restart, and you can see it's up here, hello world. So let's try to put in an app bar here so it comes down a bit. To do that, at material app, it will take an app bar. If you look around here, there should be an app bar. Let's just try to give it an app bar. Not here, sorry. It's inside the scaffold. So inside the scaffold, it takes an app bar, and to create an app bar widget, all we have to do is type app bar. And if you look at the properties, you can see that it takes a title widget as well. Let's just give it a simple title. And if you see here, it takes title and of type widget, a nullable widget. So we can give it anything. So a text is a type of widget. So let's just give it. And if you save it and restart, Control R, and you can see here the app bar comes along. For now, this is it. In the next video, we'll be exploring about other widgets such as layout, widgets, paddings, text, images, and also a custom widget. So that is it for this video. Till then, see you soon.